Identifying herbs is not an easy process, I understand.
Right.
There are a number of identifying factors that have to be met in order for it to be shown to be the right one. I'm thinking particularly of Hoodia, for instance,
Yes.
and how Hoodia is a South African, the kind that it was discovered would help with energy and reducing appetite and so on, was a specific species found in South Africa.
Right.
And was exploited from there, and then other people began getting Hoodia from other parts of the world and trying to sell it as the same,
Right.
which didn't have any of the same effects. They were certainly not
Right.
tested for those, and
Right.
yet they were selling it, and people, because they knew the name Hoodia, thought that they were getting the real thing.
I happen to have extensively researched Hoodia in South Africa with the top experts of that plant. And basically, yeah, it is a wild cactus. It was, up until Unilever dropped its Hoodia project, it was destined to be a superstar on the world stage. And what we saw was especially a lot of Chinese companies taking any of a variety of totally non-related species of cactus from China, grinding them up into powder, producing certificates of analysis that said this is Hoodia gordoni, and basically creating entirely bogus specification sheets for this stuff, selling it at a third or a quarter of the price that Hoodia sells for, and getting a lot of companies to say, well, no, this is real for sure, because I've got a certificate of analysis, it says it's this, and it was no such thing. It is the case that misidentification of plants is a significant enough problem in the herbal scene that the World Health Organization identifies it as a major challenge. The good companies, the legitimate companies, want you to get a health benefit. If I produce something that's real, that's truly identified, and that's effective, you know what? You're going to buy it a second time.
That's right, because it works.
Yeah. If I sell it to you once, I also have to sell it to 100 or 50, or 5,000 or 10,000 other people once, because I'm never going to get that second sale. So I think you've got kind of diverging paths, people who say, hey, there's gold in them thar hills, we don't really care what kind of crap is in the capsule. And then you've got the companies who say, look, let's make the best stuff in the world. If we can relieve people's headaches, we've got customers for life. And that's the smart way to go.
So, for instance, when somebody, let's take Hoodia for example. Is there a company, or is there a genuine strain of Hoodia that is being sold on the market, and how would somebody tell?
The how somebody would tell is one of those horrible, almost impossible to answer questions. There are companies out there that, Alchemist Laboratories surveyed, I think it was 19 brands of Hoodia, and among them found one that was Hoodia. I work with a French extraction company called NatureX. In fact, I did Hoodia investigation on their behalf. Their Hoodia extract is real, but I can't tell you who's got it in their products. It's very difficult, because if you have an ingredient that is somewhat expensive, you're going to have companies who will sell something that they say is that ingredient at a lower price to capture the market.
We've often said this to our readers, that you do get what you pay for.
Yes.
And if you're finding some product that's significantly lower lower in price than another product, you can pretty well bet that they've done something horrible to cut corners.
It's like a car, it's like a toaster, it's like clothing, it's like footwear. You can get a pair of shoes for $10, and it'll be a $10 pair of shoes. And I'm not saying everybody should go out and buy $200 a pair of Mephistos, but if you do, they'll last 10 years. In every category of consumer goods, we have excellent products and we have very poor quality products. And I think the challenge, as a largely self-regulating industry, the challenge that we face in the herbal business is, there are people in it like myself. I want to see this go on and on and on and on for generations. And so how do we weed out
The bad
companies
actors.
who don't care, who are just in it for today's dollar, who really have no concern with what happens tomorrow? How do we separate them out so that the companies who want to provide really good health products for people that make a qualitative difference in their lives can thrive and prosper unencumbered by bad press?